Spring is close. You can feel it. The signs are everywhere. Birds are returning. In the ravine behind my house, you can hear more and more of them every day, in the morning especially. It's been warm enough this week to step out onto the patio with my morning coffee, just to listen and inhale some fresh air after 5 months sealed up inside the house. The snow is quickly melting too. A week ago, it was piled high along the sides of the driveway. This morning, it's completely gone from the front lawn of the house, which faces south. The back lawn, which is in the shadow of the house much of the day, still has snow, but not for much longer. Kempenfelt Bay was dark yesterday as I drove by. The snow now turning to slush. The other thing I love about early spring is each day grows a little longer. In January at 5 p.m., as it's getting dark, it's hard to imagine that in a few months, 5 p.m. is followed by 4 more hours of daylight. Ontario is blessed with the very best that the outdoors has to offer. The next few weeks, we will see the return of golfing, boating, biking, hiking, camping, evening barbecues, and long after dinner walks. I'll be putting away the coats and boots and other winter gears and pulling out the shorts and sandals and t-shirts. Hello, I'm Mike Montague, and this is Who Moves You, the podcast about real estate and the real estate market in Central Ontario and South Central Ontario. My to-do list for the next couple weeks includes washing and detailing the car, switching out the winter tires, tuning up the bikes, giving the garage a good spring clean, and doing some painting once we can open up all the windows once again and get the air moving through here. Home renovation activity tends to hit a high in the spring for a combination of reasons. Last year, home reno spending was up dramatically. If you made a weekend trip to one of the building material supply stores, you know what I'm talking about. Canadians spent $80.1 billion on home improvements last year. That outpaces growth anywhere else in the economy in 2020. It's also more than we spent on home purchases in 2020. 2021, I expect, will see similar high activity. This increased volume has also increased the incidence of people getting screwed by unskilled and just plain unethical building contractors. I have a few tips to help you avoid having your money ending up in the pockets of fly-by-night builders or contractors. Let me say up front that there are good ones out there who are experienced and good at their craft and who pride themselves in the work they do. You just have to do some upfront investigating to be sure that the one you hire is among them. The first rule is to accept the hard fast rule that cheaper is not better. Cheaper almost always ends up costing more in the end, and it will in many cases add nothing but misery to your world. Good tradespeople are in high demand, and there is a price to pay for quality and guaranteed results. If a contractor suggests a cash price at a discount, refuse it and start looking for another contractor. Warranties are not legally enforceable on cash deals. Fly-by-night and work for cash are analogous terms. Unless you are willing to pay the price for quality and competence, you're better off to put off your projects until a time when you are better prepared to do so. Don't just hire someone recommended to you off social media. Sure, you can make some inquiries online to get names, but consider that as just a starting point. Find out if the person making that recommendation has actually used the person or company. Find out their relationship to them. Is it a cousin or an acquaintance that they're doing a favor for? Ask to view the work they have done. And check out the quality for yourself. If they offer a quote sight unseen over the phone, politely say goodbye and move on. When they do come to view the project and put together a proper quote, find out if they are insured. Ask them if they provide a written and signed guarantee for their work. Find out who will be doing the actual work and what their qualifications and experiences are. Find out if they are covered by workers' compensation. A guarantee or warranty may not in itself offer an assurance of quality, but it will lend some weight should you find yourself in a position of having to take someone to small claims court for failing to complete or properly complete the work they are going to be doing. If they're not covered by workers' compensation, then you're opening yourself up to a number of possible lawsuit scenarios. A few years ago, a neighbor of mine hired someone to clear their eaves troughs, someone who had left flyers in our mailboxes a couple weeks earlier. Instead of working off of a ladder and scooping out the debris from the eaves troughs properly, this guy climbed onto the second-story roof with a leaf blower. If you have ever cleaned your eaves troughs, you know that the leaves are just some of the more visible debris that's in them. He also didn't bother with tie-offs or lanyards, a requirement by law for anyone working on a roof. He slipped and he fell to the driveway below. I was across the street with my back turned when it happened. I heard it and I immediately called 911, but unfortunately it was already too late for him. He had no insurance, he was not covered by workers' compensation, and my neighbor was sued by the worker's family, which cost them considerable sums of money. Don't be an accessory to unsafe, unqualified workmanship. If the person or company you're considering cannot show you verified proof of insurance or compensation, under no circumstances should they be working on your property. Get a business address and drive by yourself to assure that that business does actually exist at that address. Research both the business and the contractor's names online. Google, social media. If there's no reference them to be had, then be suspicious. They may be new, out of the area, or changing their names constantly just to stay ahead of bad reviews and hide out from past clients. Their own advertising online should give you some sense of their legitimacy, and any reference to them by past customers will either be praise or critique. Look to see if they are a member of the Canadian Home Builders Association or a local member of the Chamber of Commerce. Your municipality issues permits for renovations, electrical work, plumbing and heating and cooling jobs. Find out if your work requires a permit and then get those permits. If you don't, you may not have any recourse if something fails. Your home insurance policy may be considered null and void in the event of a claim, and you may find yourself having to remove the work done and pay a hefty fine to the municipality if your work is found out. When you go to sell the home, a diligent buyer and their lawyer are going to want to see verification that permits were obtained for work done on the home when they were required. Unless stated otherwise in the contract, it is the homeowner's responsibility, not the contractor's, to obtain all proper permits for work completed on the property. Before committing to any work, ask about some of the projects that they have done in the area. If they can't list any, move on. If they can, ask if you can see one or two. If you can talk with a past client to get their opinion or on work that they've done, or better yet, view some of the work that they have done, you are in a more confident position to hire. Not all clients will be willing to let you view their work, but the better ones will. In any contract you enter into, be sure it stipulates that you have a hand in the selection and approval of materials to be used on the job. Do not, I repeat, do not begin any work without a written and signed contract that clearly stipulates the work to be done, the results to be reached, the materials to be used, the time it will take, what days and what times a day they will start and finish working, how and when the work will be paid for, and clearly warranties that work, compensation for any and all damages, and verified assurance of insurance and workers' compensation coverage. It's advisable to have a lawyer look over a contract as well if dealing with major work or significant sums of money. Never pay full price up front. A deposit towards material costs is typical, but it should not amount to more than 10 to 20% of the total contract amount. Any additional ongoing payment increments should be tied to work that has been completed. This helps to ensure that the work keeps moving at a steady pace, and it reduces the risk of a contractor disappearing with your money partway through the project. Yes, it happens. Hold back a minimum of 10% of the project value until all of the work is properly completed. Give your contractor their space and avoid micromanaging, but be accessible and ask for walkthroughs and updates from them as the project is progressing. Before or after the workers leave for the day, take pictures and keep a visual log of the progress. If it's worth doing at all, it's worth doing right. Remember that kitchen and bathroom renos give far better returns when you sell than all other home renovations or improvements. Prioritize your projects with the ones that are going to add the most genuine value ahead of the others. A pool and a man cave, they're nice, but they should come further down the list. If a move is in your plans, I invite you to give me a call to get started. I'm never too busy for your business or for your referrals. Visit the brand new whomovesyou.ca website. I'm getting some good feedback on it. Unlike most real estate agent websites that you find, this one isn't a pick-me site about the agent. It's all about the homes. All the listings fully detailed and broken down by neighborhood, searchable maps, and a dozen or so customizable ways to search the current market and stay ahead. Everything you need to get you to the front of the line while trying to negotiate in this competitive, crazy real estate market we're still in right now. It's all there waiting for you, and it's absolutely free for you to use. You can call me at 705-718-6119 anytime, or you can email me at mike@gimmeshelter.ca. Click the subscribe button so you can get updates on newer shows when they come out. I'm Mike Montague with Remax Crosstown Realty. Who moves you?